Let's talk about pinch harmonics today. It's a topic that I get asked about a lot. My students want to know exactly what they are and how to produce them consistently. So first of all, what is a pinch harmonic? And I think we all know the sound of them. It's that squealy sound that a lot of us will associate with Dimebag Darrell and Zakk Wylde, right? Right? We've got that squealy sound. Now, what exactly is producing that sound? Pinch harmonic is just a harmonic that we create with one hand instead of two. So, I think that even the name is a little bit confusing because we're not pinching anything, right? So if I had been responsible for giving them a name, I probably would have settled on a name like brush stroke harmonic or brush harmonic, because that's really what we're doing is we're plucking the string and then brushing it with our thumb. That's what producing the harmonic. But let's go back to kind of square one so that you can see exactly what this is. A natural harmonic, probably the first thing that most of us learn, is just, you can find these very easily on the 7th fret, 5th fret, 12th fret of any string. So if you touch the 7th fret on the high E string, lightly touch it over the fret wire, and then pluck the string, get a nice pure sound, right? A nice harmonic there. Now, we could also create that same sound if we pluck the string first and then lightly touch the string. Right? And that's what we're doing with a pinch harmonic. We're plucking the string with the pick and then our thumb is brushing the string. Okay? Because you have to remember that just because we run out of fretboard doesn't mean that we run out of harmonics. So just as we have harmonics randomly up and down where the fretboard is, right? We could generate any of those as natural harmonics. Well, we also have the more harmonics up here where the fretboard runs out. Right? So we could actually generate one of those harmonics as a natural harmonic by using two hands. Oh, there's that little dive bomby thing that everyone does, right? But instead of doing that as a natural harmonic, you can also do it with one hand, which is very convenient if you're fretting a note. Right? You can't really be fretting a note and then plus doing a natural harmonic, right? So that's all that pinch harmonic is. It's just a natural harmonic, but we're using one hand to do it instead of two. So since the technique is a bit different, we have to have a different name, right? But why is it a pinch harmonic? I don't know. But might be interesting to get to the bottom of why it's called a pinch harmonic, because we're not pinching anything. But that's all that it is, right? So with that, let's zoom in. And actually, before I get to that section, I do want to cover one other thing, is that you don't need some deep, dark, mysterious tone to generate these, right? You don't need to crank your gain all the way up, and you don't need to crank the treble and the presence up to 1 billion. If you can generate a natural harmonic, then you're going to be able to pinch that harmonic, right? Because I can do that too, just like we generated that natural harmonic on the 7th fret. Well, you could do that. There, I just did it with one hand. I pinched it, right? But it's just the natural harmonic. Okay, so with that, let's bring the camera in nice and close, and you'll get a good look at how my fingers actually look when I'm doing this and how I'm holding the pick and all that. Okay, so we've got you nice and close so that you can see exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to be pinching harmonics up and down open strings, so I won't be fretting any notes. So that you can reproduce these along with me if you want. And the first thing I want to draw your attention to is where to hold the pick. You can't just hold the pick anywhere. If you're used to seeing a lot of pick, then that's not going to work, because you need to be able to touch the string with your thumb at the same time, right? So if you can't add your thumb to the pick attack, it's not going to work for you. So you need to choke right up. I see very little of the pick when I'm doing this. Okay, so what we're going to do, just to start off nice and slow here, we're going to pick the string and then lightly touch it with the side of our thumb. So we'll have two distinct motions here just so that you can generate that harmonic. So pick the string, touch it with your thumb. Okay, so that's what we're going for. Now we can do it with one stroke instead of two. Let it ring out. Okay, and that's the G string. Can kind of move around, generating different pitches. Okay, I'll slow those picks down. That's the motion I use. And we can move to the B string, the E string. Okay, and we can come down to the low strings too. D, the A, and the low E. Right, so as you can see, they're all over the place. You can just experiment with all your open strings. I think most people claim that the G string is the easiest for them, at least at first. So you can stick on the G string. Okay, as you can see, you can generate pinch harmonics up and down all the strings. They're all over the place. Now let's just leave you with a couple of tips and tricks here so that you feel really comfortable in knowing how to generate these. And the first thing that I really want to impress on you is that concept that they're really just a natural harmonic, right? Which means we can generate them using two hands. So it's probably the easiest way of finding these, because it's very important to pick. You have to use your pick and thumb at the exact spot where that harmonic is located, or you're either going to generate a different pitch or no pitch at all, depending. There might not even be a node where you pick the string, right? So the easiest thing to do is just to, I'll do this on the B string just for something different. You know, as you can tell, there's dead spots, right? As you go up and down the string, move your finger just in tiny increments. But there's some dead spots, some really nice spots. So let's find a nice one. There's a nice one. Now you got to take note exactly where that finger is touching the string, because that's where you have to pick. If you pick in a different spot, you might hit a dead spot. You won't get any pinch harmonic at all, or you'll get a different pitch than what you're going for. So if we want that pitch, you got to pick exactly where that finger was touching, right? Okay, so that's a good way of finding those and then training yourself to pick exactly where you need to. Now that's, you know, just talking about open strings. But what if we're fretting a string? You know, let's say we're fretting the 10th fret on B. Okay. Now let's say you're playing a ripping solo and you really need a screaming harmonic. Well, if you're fretting that, you can't be finding a harmonic the natural harmonic way, right? So, you know, you're picking around, you can't find one. Easiest thing, I'll show you something else here in a second, but easiest thing to do, get your handy friend, the capo, out and just fret on the 10th fret. And now you can find where that harmonic is going to scream nice, right? Let's just pick around again. Ooh, there's a nice one. Okay. Make sure you got it. Okay, and then just train yourself to pick that spot and get that pinch harmonic to squeal. Just like that. Now let's say, you know, maybe you're playing a famous solo and it's sounds awesome. You got a good pinch harmonic, but it's not the same pitch, right? Well, just find another harmonic. Ooh, there's one. That's gonna squeal. Make sure you got it. Just like that, you can find them, right? And then you just take note of exactly where they are and make sure you're nailing it every time. It's going to take a little bit of practice, but so that's one way of finding those. And I'll leave you with one other method too, that if you don't have a capo, you know, maybe it broke and you got to buy beer so you can't afford another one, obviously, you can just fret the note and you can do a couple of different techniques. You can use your index finger to lightly touch the string and use your thumb or another finger to pluck the string and then find the harmonics that way. And then you'll just have to really take note of where that finger is touching. It's a way that you could do it. Right? So I hope that it's pretty apparent that the most important part to really get pinch harmonics to squeal is where you're picking on the string. It has to be pretty precise, right? It has to be over top of a node point. And other than that, I think you've got all the tools in this video to really get ripping and squealing with pinch harmonics. So if you learned a lot and enjoyed this video, drop me a comment and maybe even suggest some other things that I should do a video on. And if you want more song tutorials, more theory, improvisation tips, all those good things, be sure to hit like and subscribe. And I'll see you real soon for more.